Welcome back. This is Nerd Dad, and we are on episode 19 of our Factorio playthrough. Last time we left off, we had some grand plans, but I think I'm going to change them a little bit. I've been thinking a little bit about our nuclear power and how much power we're using. I'm looking at right now, it doesn't look like we're using much, but we actually haven't even got lasers online. As soon as we do, we're going to get all sorts of spikes and all sorts of horrible things are going to happen. And I started thinking, you know what? I don't know why we're not currently mining off this massive resource we have over here. So I would like to at least get our centrifuges up and running, starting to process this ore. To do that, of course, we're going to need some concrete. So when we look in, what we need for a centrifuge and the nuclear plant, they both take quite a bit of concrete. 100 concrete really isn't a lot for a centrifuge. We're going to probably need to up our red circuit production just to make that a little bit easier. And you can see that the nuclear one takes quite a bit. It's about 500, but it's 500 of almost everything, so it's pretty needy. So, we're going to build some concrete, and the other thing I was watching is that we still haven't upgraded our furnaces from stone yet, so I'd like to get that fixed as well. It's, our buses, I wouldn't say great. I think part of the issue is that we're not really processing the ore fast enough. We have a nice big backlog of ore. We could be getting this through quite a bit faster. In fact, if I upgraded these lines, that would help. So I think what we'll do is we'll be upgrading the lines. I think we'll upgrade the furnaces. But of course, to do that, we need new furnaces. You'll probably notice that I've now got 2 lines of iron ore coming in here. That's because I just snipped these 2 lines of iron ore. And it's going to be a little bit strange. I'm leaving this little ore facility that we kind of started the game with because we've always wanted to mine this off to clear the space for this road and all these other things. But what I did is I decided what we'll do is we'll designate this ore field over here to be our iron ore for our cement factory. You can see it's already kind of burning itself out, but I think there's still a decent amount in there. I think when we look at the map, we got 103k. Actually, we got more there. Huh! I just looked at the size and didn't really look at the density. Okay, so I think we'll change that up a bit as well. What we'll do is kind of keep this line here going up there, and I think we'll route these lines backwards. In fact, why don't we do that right now that we've actually looked at the map and thought about it. I was sort of I made an assumption. Never assume based on the size. Yep, sometimes it's all about the density. Okay, let's get that done. I made the big faux pas. Okay, there we go. So we'll just get this in here, and then we can just turn these other lines around or whatever. We'll just kind of snip that one off, and there we go. And we'll just kind of do this so it's obvious to us that it's dead. And we'll figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, so what the plan was to come over here, and I was looking at this line right here going, okay, we've got stone furnaces already here, so we're kind of golden for stone. And I thought, well, since we got the stone furnaces right here, why go rebuild another stone furnace facility if we don't have to? And why don't we build our cement factory over here? It just means we got to pipe in some water, and we just got to pipe the ore over here. The other thing is since we have all this stone, why don't we bring in some steel and actually can make our our steel furnaces here. So I'm thinking it's kind of like we can do a bunch of things at once here using this stone facility. So I want to just grab this line here, and we're going to have to kind of goof around with this a little bit. Which way are you flowing, sir? You're flowing this way. Let's just get ourselves some space to work here. Oh, bags are full. Always bags are full. So the problem we've got is I've got so many blueprints right now, it's getting a little bit silly. I'm going to trash a bunch of these. I might need them, but I can always rebuild them. They're so easy to build. So often I find myself just, oh, we're losing something. Look at that. I wonder what we're losing. Let's go take a look. Oh, that's not a surprise. What they're doing is, I've been kind of watching them. This one will send one up, this one will send one up, and I think they might be even throwing a smattering of 1 or 2 from over here, but they get these huge piles of them in here, and then they kind of throw them all at the wall at once, and I've seen even a couple come up, so they're not playing nice. So we're going to have to go deal with them at some point. One of the reasons I want to get lasers is get out there and start beating them up a bit and push them off the walls. Okay, what do we want here? I'll get personal roboport. We can get that. Yeah, so I've kind of gone away from the robot thing. I was kind of getting fixated again on the robots, and I want to get away from that a little bit. So I think we're just going to get ourselves set up here a little bit. I think we bring this line in like this. And I think we can do a jump as long as we're one space inside the walls there. If we ever get these walls built, who knows? It'll be a while at the rate we're going. But we'll just do this. And we'll just kind of do a bunch of inlines like this. Bump, 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 bump. So if that's going to come out of there, it's going to have to go like this. I think we're just going to leave that ore field way over to the right for a little while, because apparently we don't need it for a while. So it can be our backup for this, telling us when we need to update. Alright. I just wanted to get that ore as much as we could. Okay, and then we'll just bring this line down as well. Bring this into the fold. And then we'll have this line coming in. At some point we're still going to have to deal with this rail line, but you know, right now we can just wipe it out. Plans are still there. That's long-term stuff, so we're okay. And then what we'll do eventually is we'll just pipe this line right into here. This will work out really well, actually. Let's just wipe these out and we'll go and feed these in manually. Might as well keep our track if we can, because we're probably going to need some of this, so we'll just kind of pick it up here really quickly. Yeah, I've noticed the bugs are getting a little bit stronger. They're starting to do quite a bit more damage when they come into the walls, so I'd like to start getting serious about, you know, some laser defense and things like that, but I just don't feel comfortable with it until we either, you know, had a lot of these accumulators were up. That kind of helps, but I'm thinking, why even bother? We'll just jump right into nuke. Okay, so the only thing that's kind of wrong here is if at some point we want to run this, we're going to need to run this line down here and join this line up. So we might need at some point a little bit of a zigzag like this to bring this back in here. I don't want to do that quite yet. So this line here may have to come down like this. Okay. So now we've got that kind of eyeballed. What I want to do is I want to eyeball this. So we're kind of jumping between two projects here. One's our cement factory, and the other one is going to be our steel production. Now the other part we need over here before we go too much further is getting some water. So do we have a water? I thought I made a pump. Probably right in front of my face. I can never seem to find the pump. It's just it's not something you use enough. There it is. You don't use it enough, and then it's sort of like, oh boy, where'd that thing go? Right there should work. And we'll just run you a pipe right down like this. I really should have ran this backwards from here because I wanted to get it kind of like right in this zone right here. I want to be a little bit careful because we're going to run a bunch of copper in here pretty quickly, so I want to be a little bit diligent with our space. Wow, I actually got it right on the head, so. Yeah, that'll be not a good place, but that's okay. We'll just do this. Okay, actually, you know what? We'll even... No, we're going to have to do what I was going to do. I just thought maybe I could cheat the corner a bit. Come right to there, and then we'll come in with our elbow right there. Okay, and then we should be able to kind of just jump a little. Didn't think we were going to reach through there. And then we can put the next elbow. Got to be careful here because we're not going to have the space going down there. It actually needs to come further down here. So I'm going to need to put another little jump right here, and then once we've got that in place, we're good to go. Okay, we got her figured. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of oohing and on and eyeballing. Okay, we're going to make a crosser. Perfect. Alright, so now we got our water in. So I'm kind of, like I said, we're kind of jumping between a couple projects here. One is, hey, let's get some iron ore in here. I just kind of bring that out to make it look good. And so there's our iron ore, there's our water. We're all ready to go. We'll work on the cement factory in a second. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to bring this line forward like this. We're going to bring another line in like this. And we're going to bring our steel in from up around our military base. There's a stream of steel that we have coming in. I think it's for the red ammo, possibly. And so there's no reason why we shouldn't be trying to just bring it in from there, because we don't need that all the time. It's a sporadic line. It isn't a constant pull. Just kind of basically now it's ticking along for the occasional bullet, right? So, you know, it's got a few plants running because it looks like it's doing a recharge of the line, but that isn't always happening. And frankly, our steel line is pretty solid, so I'm feeling comfortable with pulling straight off of this line. Maybe it'll turn out to be a bad thing when we run out of ammo, but we'll find out. I'm feeling quasi-confident, he says, as the bugs are rubbing their... What would they wouldn't be hands, they would be, well, they say they're legs, but there's a thing on the end, and I can't remember what they're called. Anyways, they're, it's not their mandibles either. I don't know. I should have done my bug homework. I don't know. They're, disgusting little buggy mitts. I don't know. I'm sure they're not disgusting to them. Okay, I digress. The bugs might be happy. There. Solved. We'll do the same thing as we've done here for the stone. We will just come in and drop a box, and we're going to limit that out to 200. We don't need a whole, 1,000 of these. This will be a temporary before we put in electric furnaces, so we're just kind of doing that temporarily. And that's great. And so we're pulling that off, and it's doing its thing, and it's wailing away. And the other reason I wanted to use this stone furnace is we already have a stone train with a stone... Oh, actually, speaking of that, how is that mine doing? That's not doing too bad. It looks like we could go down there and bump that over a line, so we'll do that too. We'll get that, because we're going to bleed this off pretty quickly here. Okay, so there we go. We've got our our steel furnaces coming in. That's working really good. We're going to work on that. And how are we doing here? We're looking pretty good. I think what we'll do is just finish running this line down to the corner here. And it's right to there. And then I think we'll bring the water down along beside it. And then I just gotta kind of stand out here and survey the land and say, what are we gonna do with this? And I think we have our nice little sixers here. Let's take a look, and I mean, we could keep it in line with this, I guess. If we were to build it like right here, it's out of the way, I think, there. And it won't be in the way for this. Our train's already doing their thing. Our military's way up there. We're out of the way of all these. Yeah, even with the extra space here, we'll be out. Okay. So I think we were actually in a pretty good place right about there, yeah. Alright. So, let's make it official. It's official. Now, the next question is, how do we want to do this? We've got options. We can do something like that with the water on the outside, but I think what I'm going to do is this way. Be nice. That way I don't have to spin them. No, I was kidding. It's trying to figure out what you kind of want as your final result. So if we do something like this, and let's try to do this right versus kind of what we were playing around over on the sulfur side there. Oh, I guess I probably should take you through what we did over there too, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Kind of sum up with that, I think. I need 2 lines in here. I need one for the brick, and I need one for the iron ore. I can't recall. It's 5 stone brick. Okay. So bring the stone brick on the inside line, and we'll bring the iron ore on the outside. Again, as per our usual discussion, it's about speed of the inserters. So we just want to get whichever one has more to load on the inside if we can help it. Not that it really matters too much. It's not like we're going to be waiting for these too often. They put through so much material that it's not going to be too much of a problem. Hey, let's get some lights in here, and maybe we can see once I get some power connected. What's the best way for us to connect power here? Probably just by slamming one of these boys on there. There we go. Easy stuff. And are we right in a direct line here? Oh, we're just a hair off. So, what's the best way for us to do that? Let's just do it like this. Oh boy. Not even paying attention. I'm like, I'm just gonna run a line right by here. I was thinking to myself, well, I'll have to think about tunneling those. Glory be to me. Actually, let's just do it the same way. That was fantastic. I just wanted some ore in my bag there. Yeah, that was what it was, yes. Some ore in the bag. I should just do this too, right? I'll just wipe through there. Why not? I mean, it's the thing, right? God. I'm such a piehead. Okay. Why would I not mirror that? I don't know. It's so easy, yet apparently so difficult. Okay, and there goes the stone. It's like, okay, we're going to steal all your brick now. All your bricks belong to us. There we go. I'm just going to run this line up here. And I'm not too sure it's going to keep up when this gets going. So we're actually going to just jump right on board here. We're going to say, you know what? We're going all in. Let's grab these yellows. Maybe use them for something. Having one little space of slow output does not bother me. Oops. May as well upgrade this while we're here, right? I mean, we're here. Do we have any yellows? Why not? Just enough, probably. 25. We're going to use 20 of them if we do this. Actually, you know what? We probably should have blues on the inside because stone. I believe each brick takes 5 stone or something. Oh, it's only 2. Oh. I'm just watching these for a second. Oh, they're pausing. If they're pausing, then there's no point. As long as they're pausing. If they were constantly feeding, it means it's not keeping up, so we're good. Okay, let's quickly grab some steel furnaces right here. Just grab 50 of them. We don't need a bunch. And we'll have to just slowly put these ones in because, well, they have nothing there to lay over. But the other ones will be a nice, easy, fast run. We'll just go like this. Because they will automatically insert right on top of the other ones, which is fantastic. And we just need some power poles. We may as well use the wooden ones. Keep it all the same down here. I probably won't upgrade those to electric for quite some time. I can see that just kind of doing its thing. Okay, so we got that. We got double production coming here. We'll probably have, like I said, we'll probably have to upgrade that. Get that stone mine down south working a little bit better. There we go. Double line of stone coming down. We are going to need to double side this at some point, so we're going to need to do something like this as well. We should have been thinking about all of this when we were doing this, but, you know, brains. Okay, and we'll just go this way, and we're going to have to do a bit of a jump across as well. Okay, let's get our water in here now. This is going to be the next part for us. I want to do something like that, and that's going to allow me to jump to the other side as well. A little bit of pre-planning here, and actually that's going to be right in the middle of that copper line, so let's go like this. That'll work better. And let's take you right down and we'll join you in right here, right where we got this water line right here. Okay, I think that should start spitting out some materials once we get some power on these other guys. And I think we'll put these right along the line here, kind of in alignment with the other ones. We can help it. Put a bit of lighting in the middle. We can actually make the inserters reach right across there if we want. That doesn't really matter. And there we go. Okay, so now we got a bunch of concrete pouring out. We're just going to put that into some boxes for right now. I find that you need quite a few blues working to keep up with the amount of concrete kicked out. Why are you like that? Why you got to be like that? You know what we're going to do is we're going to pick up this copper I had to pick up. We'll just put it in the trash for a second. Okay, and are these guys going to keep up? Probably not. I'm thinking I'm going to probably need 3 or 4 there. Yeah, you can see they're already not keeping up. It's, like I said, the output is just, it's, well, you can see what's going on. You can see what's going on. Okay, yeah, wait till we get the other side up and running. But we'll do that a little bit later. Okay, so actually, why not do it right now? Why don't we just slam this into place? But I do want to go up and visit our trains and show you what we've done there as well. So I think we're going to just do that in a second. I want to kind of pencil that in. Okay, so you're all ready to go for next time. Let's keep working on our robotics. Actually, let's... yeah, let's grab that. Okay, so let's go up and visit our trains and see what we did last time and how we finished off. I think... pondering. Decision made. Let's do it. Let's get up there and take a train ride and go and see what we've done over on the other side. Alright, so yeah, we've kind of pushed out a bunch of things here, got ourselves all set up, and you can see we've got these trains all sitting here ready to go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to send both of these guys off. I think we will jump on one, and then I think we'll send the other one. I think they're both ready to go. Why don't we grab the lubricant train, and just send ourselves over to pick up. Let's go and get in there and take a ride on her. Okay, so you know, we've had this set up for quite a while. It's doing really well. I could easily have the other train running as well, but we'll just pick that one up and get him moving at the same time. I still haven't put all the switches along here. I'm still thinking I'll do that with robots once I get them. Lots of bugs pushing us. It's a little bit choppy. Alright, and this train's only here for 10K, so he's gonna... Oh, I said to myself that would likely happen, and what happened was I'd actually penciled this track in as light oil, and I flipped it around, but I didn't lift these two items. So what I need to do is just quickly lift that car out of there, and then I can just reapply these two items, and that'll get rid of any light oil that was left in the system. Then I can redrop the fluid wagon, and then this train's going to try to take off on us, so we're going to have to quickly grab him, and he's going to quickly fill up, and he's going to try to take off. You got 23K of oil, and you're... Wow, he sucked that dry pretty quickly. Okay, we won't worry about him for a second. It's okay that he's got that, because we're going to need that to fill up the other end. So what I had to do is a couple of things. First thing you might notice is a bunch of pretty lights. We'll go into that in a second. But the first thing I did is I converted all of these back to the basic processing. The reason why I did that is we weren't getting enough of the heavy oil. So I've kind of flipped it back over. We're getting the heavy oil. We still have the ability to convert anyways. But I'm having I was having troubles getting the heavy oil to turn into lubricant. And the problem that we've got now is our petroleum products are these, you know, they're kind of maxed out, but we don't really have anything drawing off of them yet because we're just not producing enough of anything really to pull off of this. So that train full of lubricants, all we're going to probably see for a little bit until we get this sorted out. But that's all okay. We did put logic on here. So basically the way this logic is going to work is that we're not going to pull heavy oil off until the lubricant's up to a certain level. So we're just going to keep feeding into there, and it'll keep feeding over there. So we don't have to worry too much about losing our heavy oil. Did the same thing with light oil. We have actually a light oil dump here. That's so that when we get into rockets, we'll be able to pick up the light oil for fuel and for rocket fuel. And so again, we've got a little switch here that's going to shut down when this isn't full at least. And the way that works is it's checking on a banner of 20K, which is making sure that this one, what are these things called? This great big storage tank. If one of them has 20K, that means I got 40K, which means I'm going to have enough for a train load and a bit. So it's basically a joint of all of these because this one has the pump pulling, so these will always fill up before these kind of get themselves done. So it's kind of the same thing all the way down. Now, how do these lights work? Well, that's a good question. What you can see is we got some arithmetic combinators on these, and what they do is we connect a line to one of the tanks. Now, you can do both tanks if you want. I just do one tank because I just base it on that. So in my head, each of these is worth 4,000 for that tank. So I know that if I've got the tanks in twos, that I only have to look at it and say, okay, that's 8,000, you know, 16, etc. But the math is all based on one tank. Okay, so when we get in here, we look at this and we say, okay, it says light oil plus 0 equals red output. Well, we're only doing this to get our colors. It's the same thing here. Light oil plus 0 equals yellow, and down here it's for green. Then what you do is you bring a line off for the lights you want. So I wanted 1 red light, and I wanted 2 yellows and 2 greens. Then what you do is you just come into the light and you set your volumes. So I just said if red is greater than or equal to 4,000, light it up. And basically this is 8 and this is 12 and this is 16. But now they're based on the color. So this one is if red is greater than, if this one is yellow, and these ones are green. The nice thing about this is that when I copy and paste this to each of these items, the only thing I have to change is the input to the arithmetic combinator. So I've basically got petroleum gas on these ones, but the math is exactly the same for the rest of these. So when I do a copy paste and then come in and just lay them down on top, the math already drops inside of them. The wires get connected automatically, and I basically just have to come in and say, okay, now I'm talking about petroleum gas, now I'm talking about red, heavy oil. And so it's easy to do. It's really easy. Once you kind of get the first one set up, the rest of it's really simple. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to kind of hover over everything. You can kind of just come in and say, oh, okay, what's going on? I don't have any lubricant, right? And then you can start figuring out what that is. So it's a quick way for you to get an idea. And one of the ones I like to watch a lot is this one, because if I start seeing this dropping down, I know I'm going to have to start expanding my oil. The other thing we haven't done is we haven't brought in a new oil line yet. We know at some point we're going to have to blast this out and actually have a dedicated oil line come in. So that happened. The other thing is we dropped in our, what are these things called? Light oil fuel cells or something like that? Solid fuel. So we did that off of the light oil because, we definitely didn't want to do it with the red oil. And, we could probably do it with the petroleum gas, but frankly, we're not burning enough. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're not burning any of it because all these trains are actually picking coal up at the other end. So these are more intended for when maybe we're taking things somewhere else, i.e., hey, maybe we're taking the sulfuric gas somewhere. Maybe we have a new plant that's processing reds. I don't know. But we're just kind of setting it up so that long term we don't have to worry about anybody coming to this facility. This is probably a likely one, and if we get down here further south and we start playing with our uranium, we'll probably have some 238 going out as well. So it's more likely for those trains that we're thinking about having this fuel available. That's it. That's what we kind of got done. We got this all set up. The trains are ready to go. All I have to do now is, I think I can actually do this from here. I can just basically tell the sulfur train to get moving. Where am I going? Oh, way over here. I can just tell him to automate, and he'll be good to go. There you go. And so basically that's it. We're going to just keep moving along with this. I think for next time we're going to just start thinking a couple of thoughts. I know we wanted to get our robots built in, but one thing I've always wanted to do, and I'm still debating it a little bit, I've always wanted to automate the centrifuges and actually, believe it or not, the nuclear plants. So I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I think to do it I would want maybe at least one more bank of the red circuits coming online. I'm debating where I would build such a monster if I did so. I think I need all this space for engines, because when we get into electric engines, I got a feeling we're going to need all these engines and maybe some more. I'm just not sure if a bus can keep up with that at its current state. That's one of the reasons I want to upgrade it. And I've thought a little bit about different places to put this beast, and one of the places that pops into my head often is here. All I would have to do, I think, to get it done here is continue on this copper line and bring up some steel, I believe, are the two items I needed. And if I do it that way, what it means is that while we're requiring our red circuits, we wouldn't be building those things, but when we had excess, they would continue to build things like the centrifuge and things, which basically is a good check against the bus saying, hey, I don't have the resources, so I really probably shouldn't be pulling this stuff off to be building these great big projects. And if I want to manually build them, I still can. So there's nothing stopping me from doing that. But for an automation process for huge projects, I'm thinking it's not a bad way of handling it. And when we look inside of our what do we need to build, I think we get everything we need. We've got our reds. All we got to do, oh, it's the concrete. Oh, yeah, I need to get the concrete up there somehow. And I think when I was looking at that, we have a little bit of space on this wall right here. And I could come up this wall and then jump across and bring the concrete across. And we could bring it in kind of almost like straight here, straight up the wall, and build it in there. So I'm thinking, maybe we'll do that. We could almost pencil this in. Nuke plants. And we can just, they have their own symbol. There we go. Yeah, and then I tried to build the whole nuclear facility there. That would be bad. So yeah, we'll try not to do something silly like that. But what I'm going to do for next time is I'm going to upgrade our ore processing. We'll get those new furnaces online. I'm going to start looking at maybe getting some lasers built as well, and getting some defense up. We'll probably throw that online, and I think we might even throw on the, I think maybe we'll do that together. We'll build the automated nuclear thing, and you might wonder why I want that. It's not so much for the nuclear plants, even though it's kind of nice to just be able to pick up a couple of nuclear plants. It's for the centrifuges. I'm going to want about, 40 to 50 centrifuges. Pretty well I'm going to want at least 30 to start. And it sounds like insane. Well, let's go back. I'm going to want 10 to process the ore, but I am going to want another 20 as soon as I get my cavorium enrichment process. So that takes me to 30, and then I may want to upgrade the 10 originals to 20, and I may want to update the process for the cavorium enrichment to 30. So it just depends. I find the 20 for the enrichment process is more than ample, but then again, who knows? I might get really greedy this time and start doing things like, nuclear fuel for trains. So lots of stuff coming. We're going to keep moving forward and trying to build, and at least these are burning right now, so that's great. That means we're still getting some light oil, so lubricant. So thanks for joining me. I've really enjoyed this one. We've got quite a few things done. I'm excited about getting that concrete finally up and running, because it always feels like you're so much closer to nuclear then. And we'll see you next time, and we'll build those plants together. I might run a couple of lines up towards there, and then we'll put it all together, and maybe we'll push again on towards those robots a little bit. So thanks for joining me. I'm Nerd Dad, and I am